deep disagreements. It amazes me how deep faith runs, that even siblings, blood relatives.
Yeah, they say don't discuss religion or politics
Yeah,
at a dinner
it's
party.
so true. And not when you go home, which is difficult, because I feel like it's such a huge part of me that to not discuss it is to not be fully myself with them. So I'm continuing to wrestle with that.
Yeah, and to help them understand that this isn't simply an act of rebellion.
Indeed, indeed, right.
Which I think throughout history, whenever women or anyone has sort of stepped up and tried to claim something that traditionally has not been allowed to them, accepted, they're initially written off as just rabble rousers, and you're trying to cause trouble, and yeah, this is definitely making people think.
And I think particularly for me, I've been the good Catholic girl all my life, and so for me to be doing this, even for friends, is challenging, because they know me as one to be respectful of authority, but this is a big, significant step for me to say, I now want to reflect externally what I believe internally. And internally, I know the gospel is a gospel of love and inclusion. And I just feel as if our church is moving so much in the opposite direction, becoming narrower and more narrow in who's allowed at the table. And to me, this is the time, and to be part of this possibility for change and actually reclaiming our church, because I feel like I use the word imploding. It feels like it's dying from within with all that's been happening. And so it is our great hope that this movement will help to reclaim the truth of the church that Jesus Christ started.
Wow. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your family. You have the 3 boys, and I know that that your daughter Anna has really had a huge impact on your family. She's a special child. The title of a book that you wrote about her is Upside Down and Backwards, and that's talking about her DNA.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our 3 boys are typical, meaning that they are healthy and followed the regular developmental stages. And then I felt called for 2 years to have another child. My husband had been diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, and that interrupted our childbearing plan. And after he went into remission, and he's been in remission now for 11 years, so we celebrate that, I felt called to have a 4th child, and worked with my spiritual director on, okay, have I lost my mind, or is this truly a call? And felt that it was a call. So my 9 months went along fairly well. I even had an amnio that said everything was fine. But when Anna was born, she was rushed to intensive care, and they repeated the genetic screen and found that she had complications on chromosome 9. And actually the geneticist said, I've never seen anything like this. She did something very unique. She duplicated part of chromosome 9, and it's on upside down and backwards, thus the name of the book. But having Anna, having a child who is different, was a huge growing experience for me, and that's what the book is about, the grief, the spiritual angst that I had with that, because I felt that God had betrayed me by giving me a child who was not typical. And thankfully, with Anna and the boys' help, I've come to understand that differences are a very good thing. They're not something you learn to cope with. It's something you learn to appreciate for the very value of the differences. So Anna has taught me inclusion in the biggest sense of the word.
The difference between tolerance and inclusion, which is such a theme in
very
everything
nice.
You're doing. Yeah.
Yes, not tolerance, but really valuing people for their differences, realizing that that's what adds such richness and depth to life. So Anna is now 11 and a great part of our life and our community. And I think she was the missing piece in our family and has helped us to begin to live with an appreciation for diversity. And it really is because of Anna that I think the timing of this call was right. Because when I heard the opportunity to be ordained and to practice a gospel of inclusion, it just went right in sync with what I know of Anna and my now openness towards those who are different. That it makes most sense and it resonates with who I am.
Wow. Yeah. And Anna, they didn't expect her to have to be able to walk, or
Right.
and so where is she at now in her life, in her development?
So she'll run away from you if you want her to. She is very playful. I think the best thing about Anna is that she always reaches out to others. Even times when I want to ignore those who might be staring or might be what I see as judging her, she'll be the one to run up, and she likes to do high five and knuckle punch, and she wants to engage, she wants to connect. So she's my role model for what it means to explore others and be curious. And so Anna's biggest challenge is verbal. She understands, she has receptive language, but she has difficulty expressing. So she can say names, and of course her brother's names are top of the list. Her dog is very top of the list as well. So those who are significant in her life, she uses sign language. So she uses a variety of ways to communicate. But I think that the biggest challenge is I wish I knew what she was thinking, you know, when I pick her up at the end of the day, you know, to say, Anna, how was your day? It's not something she can respond to. She doesn't know her ABCs. She doesn't know her numbers. Those just don't seem to have significance for her. And I say yet. Her teacher seems hopeful that maybe at some point, but they have to be related to something. So I see her using more of a global way of understanding and then getting the specifics. So, but thankfully she is healthy, she's growing, she's up to my chin, so I know she's gonna be taller than me, as are her brothers. But I would love to have you meet her because she's just so engaging and accepting.
Well, and to be told initially that there's only going to be this certain point of development, and then to exceed it, and as a person of faith, I mean, that's got to be one of those just huge metaphors, one of those huge lessons where you say, all right, okay, they can set the bar, but we're going to keep resetting it. Yeah.
Never say never. Yeah. Never say never. And so she's a source of great hope and really embodies hope. And I used to really worry about her future and, you know, what it will be. Now it's much more of an open-ended waiting to see what it becomes. So yes, I feel like Anna has a great way of moving beyond expectations and teaching all of us to do the same. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, Mary Kay, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me and opening up about this journey that you're on.
Well, I really appreciate your interest. The word needs to get out. I cannot be the only woman in Iowa who is called to priesthood. So I hope that people will go to our website, which is RomanCatholicWomenPriests.org, and will learn more. Certainly people can be in touch with me because I know there are women out there who are called to be part of this journey as well.
Oh, well, that's another message of inclusion right there.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Kate.
Community. I always say the years won't